The gluteus medius muscle, the upper glute right here, the one that helps you stand on one leg and kick your leg out to the side and back in a hip abduction motion. It can cause a lot of lower back pain when it gets tight. So in this video, we're going to show you how to release it with our QL claw tool. And for this release, first things first is to make sure we're getting on the muscle, make sure we're actually massaging it to get the therapeutic benefit. So this part here, the trigger, is going to be digging into our glute medius muscle right up here. I'll put up a picture, but kind of the top of the hip, highest part of the butt with meat is what I describe it as. And this shelf is where our tailbone is going to sit. So when we're actually on the ground, it's going to look like this, and then we're going to let our leg fall into it and let this leg be our pressure lever, leverage of pressure over the device. And the glute medius is kind of wide and kind of fan shaped. And especially in people who are active and athletic, it's going to be really strong and thick. So it's a really dense muscle in people that are like well developed and athletic, because it's so crucial for lateral movements, being able to run fast, lift, do anything on your feet. So the reason I say that is because this muscle might take a little time and a little bit of pressure to thoroughly work through. And I just wanted to frame that right, because it might take more sessions than other muscles. But the glute medius release, I'm going to show you on the right glute here. So what the tool is going to look like is right about on the belt line. I actually took my belt off to show this better, but right kind of on the belt line, depending on how you wear your pants, is about where a good place to start is. And our tailbone on this shelf. So I'm going to bridge up, put my tailbone right about on the shelf, and then I'm going to let my leg fall right into glute medius. And as I mentioned, this muscle is fairly wide, and it's like fan shaped, and it can be really thick and dense. So unlike some of the other muscles that have a smaller target, this one's kind of wide, so it might take you might need to wiggle around a bit to kind of feel for the right tender spots. But when you're on it, you'll know. And normal muscle tissue shouldn't be sensitive to pressure, so if you feel a tender spot, that's your body signaling to you that something's wrong there. That's where you should work. So from here, what I like to do first is just let this leg fall. And if you bring it up higher, it's going to be a little more pressure. But if you keep it lower, it's going to be less. And depending on your sensitivity and massage, do what's comfortable. And we want to work the muscle for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. So I'm going to start right here with kind of level 1. If you want more pressure, and do whatever's comfortable for you, you can go to here. And then what I really like about the glute medius, and because it's so thick, the body responds well to this, is a little more active motion. So you can either wing your leg out and back like this to kind of work the muscle tissue, all while breathing slowly and deeply and staying gentle on the tool. We don't want any sudden movements or to get our heart rate up because then our body will physically fight what we're doing. But a little active motion like this is great. The other active motion is kind of like north-south, like this. Like I'm using my opposite side foot to drive this, but this feels extremely nice. And this is one of the beauties of the it's going to stay on the ground. It's like I bent it in the middle to show you. It's a rubbery polyurethane material. So it's not going anywhere. So you can really anchor and lean your whole body around it as a fixed point, unlike a ball or a roller or something that's gonna move on you. So yeah, and spend a couple minutes doing this. If you're really advanced, what you can do is put this leg over here for like kind of the highest level of pressure, and then this is probably the cruelest thing you can do to the glute medius muscle. So I've been working this out for years, and I can tolerate this. You starting out, probably this might be a lot. So start with what I showed you just on the ground, just letting your leg fall to the side, and then kind of work your way up here as the muscle gets more and more loose, or if you can tolerate it. So yeah, that's glute medius release. Spend a little time learning this muscle, exploring kind of up, down, kind of around the area I described. Like I said, the muscle's it's not like a thin target. It's a little harder to hit. So take a little time learning your body, understanding it. It's time very well spent if this is a muscle causing you a ton of pain. So best of luck. Hope you find it. Email us if you have any questions, and see you in the next one.